Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Welcome to Ganesh IAS Academy. This is the special session. In this session, we are going to discuss about the previous year UPSC Mains economic question. So, the main aim behind the session is how to approach the mains exam very easily and what are the things you need to prepare for the mains exam. So, in your preparation of UPSC, the first part you have to focus is the mains preparation. Then only you have to switch to the prelims preparation, because when you are starting to prepare for a mains means what you will know is why it is happening, why India is doing this, why we are not doing that. So the reason behind everything that you know. So that is more important for the prelims preparation, because if you don't know why it is happening and why the India is doing this, why the international arena is criticizing India, likewise for the many issue, if you don't know the reason means it will be like just you are mug-upping the things. So to overcome that thing, you need to be more prepared with the mains topic. So mains will give the some of the holistic idea about what is going on. So for that only you have to start with the mains preparation. So once you are covering around 50 to 60% of the topics of mains means that itself enough to switch to the prelims topics. So it's better to go with the mains preparation for up to the time period of November or December. Afterwards, you can switch to the prelims preparation for a prelims. You can start with the test series, prelims test series. In such a way, you can start it. So mains preparation is most important one. That things you have to start in the initial process itself. So while you are attending the session, you will know that what are the things the UPSC is repeatedly asking and why they are asking, what is its relevance, whether the possibility of repeating that same topic in that present day also. And also we will share the certain data related to any topics. For example, food processing industry means how much percentage of GDP is contributed through the food processing industry, and India's target to achieve the GDP contribution from the food processing industry. So these data also will be shared to you. So that will be more useful for your mains answering. And also there may be the possibility for the question that may ask in the prelims also. So these are the certain things that will be more useful for your mains and prelims. So whatever it is, try to make a note of it. That is more important while you are learning in the session. Okay, so let's begin the session. This was a question asked in 2018. It is a 15-mark question and a 250 words question. So this question is way more simpler one, because it is just a comparison between the Planning Commission and the Niti Aayog. So people who don't know what is Planning Commission means, we will discuss that thing also. First of all, India in the initial process, India was in the idea of the socialism. So in that socialism, one of the tool to control the economy is this Planning Commission. So the difference between the socialism and the communism when it comes to, when socialism and the capitalism, specific things about our economy is, it will be more of a targeted approach. When it comes to capitalist or a capitalism idea, it is purely driven by the market economy. It is in socialism, it is called as controlled economy. Here it is a market economy. Market economy is, it's simply about demand and supply. Consider that this pen, okay, consider this thing is a pen and it is cost around 10 rupees. Suddenly the producer of this pen making the price MRP of this pen as 20 rupees and then 30 rupees and then 40 rupees. They are increasing it. So as a consumer, what I will do is I will switch to other product. So the product which are doing the same thing as like that of this pen, and also it is affordable, I will buy that pen. So which means here it is purely driven by, the market is purely driven by the demand and supply. No one is going to interfere and you are going to control this price of this pen. So the demand of this pen is going to decrease because the reason is the price is too high. So the people will switch to some other pen, some other company's product. So that is about the capitalist market economy. So market economy is purely based on the demand and supply. No one is going to interfere in it. So only they will call this market economy as the economy run in the free hand or invisible hand. So no one is going to control it. The market, they themselves will control it. So that is the idea of this market economy. But when it comes to the socialist, this socialist economy is totally different. Consider that the same pen manufacturer making this pen prices increase by 5 rupees and they are pricing it as 15 rupees. Suddenly the government will come into the picture and they will ask why you are increasing the price, or else they will say to the company to reduce the price. They will impose it. So that is about socialist or controlled economy. So here it is purely controlled by the hands of the government. So the government will control it. That is the difference between the market economy and then the controlled economy. But many of you have a thought that so market economy is a good one. In reality, market economy have a certain added benefits, but still there is certain issue. And also controlled economy have certain issues, but at the same time it is having certain benefits also. So both the things have flaws at the same time benefits. So only we adopted a new thing called as mixed economy. But at the time of independence, our forefathers had an idea of being a socialist. They followed the socialist agenda. By the way, they created a thing called as planning commission. So the idea of this planning commission is they will fix the target and they will specify the sector and they will fight for to achieve that target. So it is more of the public sectors, they will be in the competition. They were only in that field try to achieve that target. So planning commission idea is totally related to the socialist idea. So when it comes to the socialist agenda, whatever countries, the country who is following the socialist agenda, they will have a certain thing called as the planning commission. They will fix the target and they will fight to achieve that. So the planning commission idea is one of the outcome of this, or one of the tool of the socialist agenda. So by the way, they followed certain techniques. They will fix the target and also they will forecast a plan for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, from a short term to the long term. And also they will specifically focus on the sectors. For example, first 5-year plan was purely focusing on the primary sector. Second 5 years focused on the rapid industrialization, which means it's a secondary sector. After second and third, there is a gap due to the war. Afterwards, there is a third 5-year plan. It is purely focused on both agri and industry. At the time of sixth 5-year plan, the growth of service sector happened. So this is all the thing that is dictated by the planning commission. So planning commission will fix certain things and they will move on that path. So it is not the market that is demanding certain thing. The planning commission will fix, this is the demand. So I am going to produce this thing. So I am going to supply this thing. So it is purely the controlled economy, which means the planning commission will fix everything. So that is the thing happened at the time of the planning commission. So it will be more like centralized, top-down approach, rigid planning, and 5-year plan model. So these are the certain things about planning commission. So it is a fixed path. They will go on that path only. So that is the major issue for the India also. So they fixed the certain agenda and they are moving on that path. So in that scenario, in that second planning commission, there was an issue. And also in the third 5-year plan also there was an issue. The issue of the China's aggression war. Suddenly the plan got collapsed. The reason is they fixed the path and they just moved on that path only. They are not ready for any issues that are going to affect it. So they didn't forecast anything that is going to affect this planning. That is the major issue. So planning commission have certain flaws. The reason for the flaws, it is centralized one and it is a top-down approach. They will dictate it, and the people who are in the downside of the hierarchy, they have to do that. Whatever the market scenario, they have to do that. That is the issue of this planning commission. But when it comes to Niti Aayog, it is totally different. It is outcome based and it is purely of using the ideas of the economist or else the people who are related to the specific sectors. They will come to in picture and they will give the policy idea. So based on which they will make a policies or a schemes. They will have the collaborative approaches with the industrialist. So in that way the Niti Aayog performed. So they adapted the new way of approach. But when it comes to planning commission, it is a traditional approach. They dictate it and everyone have to follow it. So that is the major difference about a planning commission and Niti Aayog. Before speaking all this thing, it is the idea of the socialist, and we are now shifting it to the mixed economy. So only we are following ideas of the Niti Aayog. So we will discuss it. Before that, what is the question is asking? How are the principles followed by the Niti Aayog different from those followed by the erstwhile planning commissions in India? So it is a simple question. What is the difference? So we are followed, how are the principles followed by the Niti Aayog different from the erstwhile planning commission? So that is the simplest question. So you can simply say what is Niti Aayog. So in the intro itself you can say that it is a cooperative federalism and a collaborative approach and the competitive federalism. It is increased by this Niti Aayog. Or else you can say that it is a decentralized planning model. That is also can be the intro. So by the way, you can give the intro and you straightly jump into the question as saying about certain things about what is planning commission. That is also important. Before going into the saying about the difference, it's better to say what is planning commission, what they did. So that thing also you have to say. That is more important. Because it's a 15-mark question, so you have to speak that thing also. In one para, you have to say what is planning commission, what they did. All the things you have to discuss within a para. Afterwards, you have to jump into the answer. So the answer can be, what are the principles followed by the Niti Aayog? So principles that followed by the Niti Aayog, what is the things that are different from the earlier planning commissioners? First thing is, it is about transparency. Or else the first point you can say simply about the bottom-up approach. That is the first principle. And then the next principle is a decentralized planning. That is the second principle they followed. Third is about the transparency. So the planning is made more transparent. Transparent means nothing but why they are doing this and also what is the outcome. So there is a perfect evaluation, monitoring activities also happening there for every planning they are doing. So how much, for example, they will release the thing called as e-governance index, and also they will release the state's performance on education, health. They also releases the SDG goal index. So based on which we can find that how the states are achieving certain things. That thing will be more transparent. So if there is a transparency, means that is also going to create a thing called as accountability. So Niti Aayog not only provide the transparency, but also it is providing certain accountability based on their reports like SDG goal index, e-governance index. They release lot of reports, lot of index based on which we can have the accountability over the government. So it is an indirect way of creating accountability towards the government. That is also did by this Niti Aayog. The Niti Aayog is doing this. So that is also the principle: transparency, accountability, and then objectivity, which means making certain plans based on the factual data or evidence. So they are making a plans based on the evidence why they are going to make it. So the decision making based on the certain factual data. So they have the objectives. Other than that, collaboration, equality, inclusivity. So these are the major things, are the principles followed by the Niti Aayog. And also another major principles that are more important is cooperative federalism. They followed a thing called as cooperative federalism, the cooperation between the state and the center and within the states. That is also led by this Niti Aayog. Next is competitive federalism. They will release the index and they will rank the states. By the way, it creates a competition between the states. So they try to outperform the other state. So by the way, they are achieving the ambition of the constitution to attain the welfare state. So that is going to happen based on the competition. That is also enhanced or increased by the Niti Aayog. That is also happening. So these are the major things, and also they have a collaborative approach, which means if they are going to make a policies or else they are making any schemes related to industrial sector, means they will make a collaboration with the major industrialist. So by the way, they will make a schemes or any acts, they will recommend it to the government. So that is called as collaborative approach. Earlier, when it comes to planning commission, there is nothing like that. So these are the major changes and also principles followed by the Niti Aayog. And also they focused more on the inclusivity to overcome the inequality in the society. That is also one of the principles of the Niti Aayog. See, if you are facing this question, some of the aspirants will have a doubt that, sir, in the Niti Aayog's website, there may be some other principles. They may be listed some other principles. How can I know that thing? So, without knowing that, I'm not able to answer this question. They may have the thought like that. But whatever it is, to just go with the answer. What the things that are Niti Aayog is doing, even though they have openly declared certain principles, these are the hidden principles. In such a way you have to think it, because they are doing this thing only. So which means they are following certain principles. So it is a hidden principle that may also. So always think and answer. Don't have any prejudiced thought or a doubt on your answers. If you know something very well, means just to go with the flow. Without knowing that, you just don't blabber anything. That is the more important thing. and then in the end you can conclude that present day the planning commission is not there and the Niti Aayog is doing these things. By the way, there is a performance increased or a boost in the economy. So by the way, we are going to achieve the Vikshit Bharat by 2047. In such a way you can conclude it. Okay, thank you.